this, something totally random, like a used dollar pen, could sell for nearly $200. Sounds wild, right? However, it did happen because of a story, and your entire business will change when you realize this one simple thing. Successful marketing is all about persuasive storytelling. Because right now, your marketing content might be good. It's just not convincing. And here's the real problem. Unconvincing messaging is the fastest way to stay stuck without sales. Or worse, go broke. But here's the good news. Today I'm going to show you the power of storytelling and give you the 3 steps to creating persuasive stories that connect with prospective clients. So if you can master these important story tweaks, you will quickly transform your sales and get the revenue results you desire. By the way, I'm April Meese. I built 2 multi-6-figure businesses as a solo entrepreneur, and I've helped women business owners worldwide increase their income with video marketing. And after helping thousands of women turn their stories into sales, here's what I found. The most persuasive stories aren't the most dramatic. They're the most intentional. You see, here's the wild truth. The stories that most entrepreneurs tell aren't horrible, they're just wasted. Because you're informing and trying to be helpful, but if your story doesn't move someone to action, you're just giving away free content and crossing your fingers, hoping and praying. And I've been there, so I get it. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 ingredients all persuasive stories need to have for sales. These 3 psychological triggers are emotional resonance, superior solution, and that all-important social proof credibility baked in at the perfect moment. When it comes to influence and persuasion strategies, I look to my favorite expert and author, Robert Cialdini. He wrote 2 New York Times best-selling books called Influence and Pre-Suasion. These books have sold more than 7 million copies in 44 different languages. Dr. Cialdini is known globally as the foundational expert in the science of influence and how to apply it ethically in business. He discovered that what you expose people to before you ask for something changes how likely they are to say yes. He calls this Pre-Suasion, setting the stage for a positive outcome before a decision is ever on the table. Influence isn't just about the moment of choice or the call to action, it's about what comes before. Therefore, proper storytelling does the invisible job of setting the frame, priming, so to speak, the prospective client. The best educational content doesn't just share what you know, it shifts what the prospect believes. So let's start with the first part, emotional resonance. There's no better example of this, in my opinion, than the significant object study, where back in 2009, a guy named Robert Walker bought various items, about $129 worth of thrift store-like items. You know, average items that you might see around the house. A writing pen, paperweights, ashtrays, old toys, small statues. Most things that he bought were about $1. And some people might look at them as junk. But when he asked different writers to craft stories about each of these items, and then he listed it again on eBay, suddenly that globe paperweight that he bought for $1.49 sold for $197.50. In total, he sold over $8,000 in sales from his $129 investment. Why? The stories resonated with the buyers. The right story can make someone care. The hypothesis was that stories are the drivers of emotional value and can transform insignificant objects into significant ones. What was once meaningless becomes meaningful, and it was actually measured objectively. In general, the more emotionally invested you are in anything in your life, the less critical you become. So if you can make someone feel something about what you're selling, then you will move a prospective client closer to becoming a buyer. Cialdini's principle of liking reminds us we say yes more often to those who reflect us and to those we feel connected to. That starts with emotional engagement. Emotional resonance makes your audience feel understood and safe. So in your story, make your audience feel something with your empathy. Some tips for this would be open with a problem your audience emotionally identifies with. Use storytelling language that paints sensory-rich scenes and mirror their values and concerns and their desires with precision. Next, in order for your marketing to be most effective, you must craft a persuasive story that shows you have a superior solution and how you're different from the competition or other options available. According to Cialdini, perceived authority rises with specificity, contrast, and confidence. Otherwise, how could you specifically show the contrast of your product confidently and compare it to others? Dr. Cialdini's authority principle only kicks in when that educational story is framed in a way that proves you're the better choice. As a business owner, your job is to prove that what you sell and offer is better than anything else. If you are proving that you have a superior solution to other options, then why should they buy it? You have to show that it's different, since it can't be the same as others and still be superior. It has to be unique in some way. Think about how you can make a case, an argument, and show evidence and present your offer with a story of its superior solution to the prospective client. It is your job to create a story that educates them on how and why you do what you do, and therefore it is the reason it's above the rest. The best educational content doesn't just share what you know, it shifts what they believe. So some tips here would be, don't just say what you do, show what makes it different. Compare your process to the common alternatives. Use direct contrast with a visual that shows how you're different. And a bonus tip here would be to use stats and analogies and other types of authority to drive home the points that you're making. The marketplace of buyers is more skeptical than ever before, and for good reason. There are a lot of scams out there. So the burden of proof is on us, the business owner, to not just say what we do or offer or sell is better, but to prove it with concrete examples. If I say in my marketing, we don't believe in that you have to post 3 reels a day or this content treadmill of overwhelm. Instead, we build short brand stories that act as sales reps and continue to work for us day in and day out, and then show the results of our students who have doubled their income or more with our video story sales method. Then our prospective clients can see there's a different and superior way to get the results they desire. Which brings me to my final element for persuasive stories, which is social proof. You might have heard me say, facts tell and stories sell. But social proof stories, those build empires. Because the most profitable stories are credible case study stories. Statistics show that if a product or service is seen as popular or widely used, others are more likely to want it. And since people are influenced by the actions and decisions of others, especially if those actions align with their own beliefs and desires, Dr. Cialdini says people look to others like them when uncertain. He says social proof works best when it mirrors the viewer's identity, which is why vague testimonials fall flat. Just posting an average review, that won't cut it. Your audience wants to see themselves in the success. It's why infomercials show social proof before they ever name the product or price. Stories embedded with proof make people want to take the next step with you. As mentioned, Robert Cialdini's social proof principle says we trust what others validate. But here's the kicker. We trust it more when it's tied to identity. So here's some tips for you. Use micro testimonials inside your teaching stories. Use visual clues of credibility, screenshots, brands you've worked with, results that you've gotten for yourself and others. Use short, specific stories with concrete results. And don't just tell the facts, tell the stories. Show emotional outcomes and the tactical results and how their life has changed because of what you offer and sell. As a bonus tip, I would say reference identities they relate to, like she was a busy mom too, or this past client was a midlife woman who also experienced XYZ. So those are the top 3 things to make your stories more persuasive. And as a recap, use stories that evoke emotion and shift beliefs. Tell stories that show you have a superior solution. And of course, you always have to back it up with proof of proven results. So your audience is saying, this is exactly what I need. In every marketing story, ask yourself, where's the emotion that makes my prospective client feel seen? Where's the teaching moment that shows my unique solution is superior and the best option for them? Where's the proof that someone like them has already succeeded and had success with what I offer? When you hit all 3, your story doesn't just inform, it transforms perception. And when you do that, you're not just making more content, you're making conversions. You're changing lives. If you're ready to stop guessing and start guiding your audience to a clear yes, you do it with a simple structured story. More specifically, there are 5 critical brand stories that every business must have for sales to guide the prospect through the decision-making process. If you want to map your next sales video with our exact methods, it's an easy, proven process. Check the description for the links to give you more support. And if you want my feedback, my eyes on your stories, plus AI tools to help you script the stories in minutes, I can help you build your video sales funnel start to finish, because it's time your content actually worked for you. The links are listed below for how we can work together. Of course, make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss more content like this. And I would love to hear in the comments, what was your aha moment or your favorite take-home tip? Also, by you commenting your insights, it helps others in our community who are on the journey to building a better business in service of others. On a personal note, I can tell you that storytelling and messaging is something that I've been working on for decades in my various businesses, and it's something that can always be improved. So I keep working on it, and that's why I love the work of Dr. Robert Cialdini and the studies on human psychology that help us better understand our audience and what they need to help them feel informed and make an aligned decision. Not only that, but this type of messaging and marketing is what helps us stand out from all of the noise and confusion that's out there. If you love this video, then you'll also want to check out this video for more storytelling tips. With hugs and high fives, bye for now. Or worst, or worse, or worse. Insignificant, that's gonna be hard to say. Insignificant, insignificant, insignificant. Once was once, what was once, what was once? What was once?